this on? Right, I just filmed the video in vertical by mistake. You know, the whole saying of like you're a product of your own environment? People forget that you can create your own environment too. How can you do that? The things you surround yourself with, the people you surround yourself with. Now, let's break down the people. Friends, you can customize, right? You can have a say in who's in your life, who influences you on what, who you listen to. Like, you can have friends that you know they're kind of social, but they're not necessarily a business partner, and you have vice versa. You have partner type friendships that aren't too social, but they open your mind a whole lot, and you can have a really mature conversation with. Now, I would say you need to find out what works for you, but you need to choose these carefully because you are, in a case, influenced, right? That's where that saying kind of comes from, is that you are influenced by what's around you, whether you do pay attention to it or not. Your subconscious mind is going to take it in when your conscious mind does and doesn't. So you want to make sure it's important to you. Yeah, those you can choose, again, like job, and that kind of comes down into people, because the people you work in your career are going to have an impact on how you feel and how you speak and how you think, if it's in the right field or if it's in the wrong field. Now, the other side of people is the ones you can't necessarily change, like family, or if you're not in family and you're in a living situation with a housemate, roommate, shared housing, you may not have much say in it if you haven't got the funds for it, you don't want to spend the funds on it. I mean, it depends how important it is to you. If you're really having a bad time and you can afford it, why don't you just do it? But it's your choice. But it's just good to be mindful, right, of your surroundings. And even if you can't change it right now, being mindful is such a step ahead from like everyone else, because right, you gotta remember right now, no one's thinking of this right now. You are. Barely anyone is. With everything we do, why would you not want people to do better, right? And then there is just the external things that aren't people, like things you consume, food, and everything else you consume, like entertainment, toys, clothes, products, skincare, aftershave. You know, you want these to tie into the person you are, you want to be, and the person you are becoming. That doesn't mean spend all of your paycheck on nice clothes and colognes that fit your character if you need that to pay bills and rent. Okay? Let's not be stupid here. I know you're better than that. If you are a type of person who wants to be successful, like, you can't be like drinking every day, behaving like a bum, like your character is meant more for this. You've got to think of it almost like you're playing a game. Okay? Like in real life, like you are a character. Like, put yourself in the third person, someone's controlling you with a remote right now, and you're writing a story for this character. It's been said before, but I want to reiterate it because I think it's quite eye-opening. You want this character to be like a hero, or a respectable character, or a noble character, or someone is an underdog that does the right thing and isn't getting recognition. Either way, you want to be on the right lines, not the wrong lines, because you've got to remember, in every film there's always a villain, it's a side character, which is kind of the main roles, that hero and side character. But there's also the backgrounds, okay? And you can be any of these. And the things you repeat and the things you do will put you into the category, okay? So if you act like an NPC, you're going to be an NPC. If you follow the crowd, you're going to be in the crowd behind the main character. Only if you really tailor yourself and follow that when necessary, which may be quite often. Doesn't mean you can't let your hair down every now and then. Doesn't mean you can't dabble with the rest of the crowd every now and then. But it does mean you have to do a lot of things they don't, which feels weird, because as humans, through evolution, through like ice ages and crazy stuff, we've programmed ourselves to want to stick together, want companionship, to want friendship, and the way society is, no one's really made to be independent. You know, you go to school to get knowledge of how to go into a job, not how to do anything else, but how to be with someone else, to work for someone else, to have co-workers and and there's nothing about really anything else unless you do the work yourself. So we're tailoring ourselves through evolution and in modern day from like children to follow the crowd. And you got to recognize where that gets you and the actions you take where that gets you, okay? So create an environment that you want for your future. Okay? I can't tell you exactly what that is because I don't know you. I don't know what that is for you. And no one's ever going to be able to say it properly. Someone could give you some great advice, you could take it on board. Someone could also give you terrible advice and you could not take it on board. Either way, they're both really useless because it needs to come from you. You need to make mistakes doing so you can learn what not to do. It's very important. Even when you make a mistake and lose, you actually win because you gain so much more knowledge you wouldn't have had if you didn't lose. So don't be afraid of that. And do it on your own terms. You've got to really learn and teach yourself. That is the best way to do it. I feel like it makes sense to everyone, to be honest, in a way. If you want to be stubborn about it and say, oh no, actually you're this, like, fair enough, mate, but like, you can't deny like at least a little bit of you goes, true. That's the only way you actually learn. How many times has someone given you advice, like family member, friend, or something you've seen in a TV show that you like to watch, where someone said something and you don't really grasp it until it actually happened to you, and then you either watch the show back or you think back to when someone said it, or the person keeps repeating it and you've really not taken it on board until now because you made a mistake and now you get it, or you've been in the situation they were talking about and now you get it from like physical experience. That's when you really know and when you really learn and you experience all of that with yourself. So just test the barriers. Honestly, don't get comfy or too comfy, you know, wind down in the evenings before bed, but you gotta be doing everything you can to be on the right lane and in the right path for yourself. Okay, please guys, make an effort doing this every day, and I promise you can't go wrong because you're doing the right thing. It's not an if, it's then when. Every time, as soon as you start trying stuff like this and really making an effort, it is not an if, it's a when. It will happen. Can't say when. If you keep repeating the same habits, keep learning along the way, you'll get there. Again, can't say when, but you will get there when you are exactly destined to. But then you don't have to wonder if, which should give you confidence because now you know it's coming. Okay? So guys, please take that on board. I wish you all the best. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.